Yes, live from Boston Calling 2018. It's the Saturday edition. We're courtesy of Miller Lite and Dunkin' Donuts, Adam 12. AC from TAUK. How are you, man?
I'm good. It's Saturday, right?
It is Saturday.
Okay,
It's
just checking.
All right. All right. So, what have you been up to lately then to make you question what day of the week it is? Because
just not really sleeping much. We were down in Martinsville, Virginia. It's on the Virginia-North Carolina state line.
Yeah.
We played a nice little festival called Rooster Walk. Beautiful spot, but we did a late night, so we played from midnight to 2 a.m.
Wow.
Then we drove.
Did you do a full 2-hour set?
Oh yeah.
Damn, good.
Yeah, and then we drove to Raleigh to fly out.
Okay.
Like at an 8 o'clock flight.
Yeah.
And Raleigh's 2 hours away from that festival, so we had to play the set, drive 2 hours.
Damn.
Then fly up here.
Yeah. So
and make it happen.
All right, so we're gonna go take a nap when we're done here. All right, we're gonna. You know what? I should have brought my hammock with me. We could have set it up in the back here.
Get the Enos, right?
Nice and quiet. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah. All right. So I'll ask you. It's funny. This question keeps coming up, which I mean makes sense since we're at a music festival. So you go from playing one festival where you're doing like the midnight set and it's for 2 hours, and then you come through Boston and you're doing like the midday set during the day, early on, shorter set. Do you have a preference either way? Is it like? I mean, you're playing a lot of the same songs, but the approach has to be different, right?
Well, we make sure not to play the same songs.
Okay.
We make sure to change it up.
Nice.
You know, we always check our sets. The last time we were in the market. So last time we were in Boston just about a month ago.
Yeah.
And we made sure not to to repeat songs.
Because you want to look out for your fans, yeah.
But it's it depends on the festival and depends on the vibe and like what we're feeling. You know, if we're doing like, for example, last night was a late night and, you know, we have a bunch of lights and it's a different vibe that you set up. Much more of a party time. But this was raging too, this early afternoon set. So we just try to bring the energy no matter what.
You did. It was killing me because I could hear you guys, but I couldn't go over and see you guys because we were doing all of our things. It's actually a good little peel back of the layer for like from the perspective, because everybody always is like, when they run into us from indie617, they're like, you get to go to the music festival all weekend, you get to see other. No, I don't get to see any damn bands because I'm here doing this, which I like. I'm not complaining.
Behind
it's just
the scenes, man.
It's the behind the scenes stuff. So, but I'll say this, and I was looking forward. I'm like, I want to hear what you guys sound like because I like the new EP. I like what you guys do. I like. I come from a musician background. Like I played jazz growing up, so like I like that you guys incorporate a lot of jazz and a lot of funk in your sound, and it sounded tight as hell. It was a really good sounding set today.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope people were getting into it. What's your musical background? When did you first start making music? How old were you? What instruments were your first instruments that you played?
So piano was my first instrument. Okay. My mom has played piano for years. She taught me, so she's my first teacher. So I didn't really have a choice.
Okay.
It was just like
You're
a
just
thing.
like, guess what? You're playing piano.
Like every Sunday, it was like eat breakfast, like some good Jamaican breakfast, and then you get your butt on the piano.
Okay.
You know, so I started doing classical from a young age, and did it through middle school. Met the guys, Matt and Charlie, in middle school, and they started introducing me to like other the 70s rock.
Yeah.
Ooh, you know. Beatles, like Zeppelin, like all that kind of stuff, and 60s stuff, and then started learning jazz and funk, and started branching out into like gospel and other things like that.
Right on.
I love hip hop and R&B. That's what I grew up on, and like smooth jazz, like the Anita Baker.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
David
all
Benoit.
Right.
You know.
Very good.
Back in New York, New York City used to have a station called CD 101.9.
I know it. Yep.
And that was truth. Like George Benson, like all that.
It was a smooth jazz station. We had one in Boston for a while too, and it didn't catch on, which is a shame.
R.I.P.
There's exactly.
Pour it out for the homies.
We're pouring out a Miller Lite for our smooth jazz homies. All right. So, but you mentioned too being a hip hop and R&B fan. Mm-hmm. What was the first hip hop album you remember like buying with your own money, or like the first, or maybe like it was a tape that you taped off of a friend or something like that, or a mix CD or something like that, like from the hip hop and R&B world.
Was like that Skila one. I wish
it was a little bit taller. I wish I was
the story of my life.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna be like 6'1", like being like $195, but it's all right.
So
I'm
that
waiting
was
on my growth spurt. But yeah, I started doing that, and then we started doing like jazz, and the guys introduced me to like Fish and the Grateful Dead. Like, the hell is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
That I can't mess with that stuff. I mean, I respect the musicianship of it, but you know.
No, but I mean, at first I was definitely a little standoffish.
Yeah.
But listening to it, it's actually. We learned how to communicate musically because we all came from very, very different backgrounds.
Right.
So yeah, we did that, and then I furthered my studies with jazz and composition at Northeastern, actually here in Boston.
I'm a Husky myself.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Represent.
Yeah, I taught there too. I'll say this: you guys, you're coming up at the right time, because I feel like 10, 20 years ago, if you were in an all-instrumental band, it was almost dismissed as a novelty. Like, a lot of people maybe hadn't come to terms with the fact that you can create instrumental music and it can still have as much energy and as much soul as vocal music does. I think people have been conditioned a little bit more to, not necessarily, because, I mean, naturally, people who listen to music, your first access point in a lot of cases is the lyrics.
True.
When you remove that, people are like, well, wait, I don't know where my access point is on this. You know what I mean?
Right. The human voice is definitely something that people identify with.
But I feel like it's moved past that, and I feel like a lot of acts. I mean, I'm thinking of, your EP from a couple months ago is great. I don't know if you know the trio from Texas, Krungben. They're an instrumental trio.
I didn't realize they were from Texas. But
Yeah,
those guys are badass.
They're amazing, and they put out a great album at the beginning of the year. And I mean, even going back
it's
to
patient too. It's like nice.
Yeah, it kind of sizzles. It's kind of like under the surface, and then kind of it comes up. But
those are killing.
and if you're going to talk about Mogwai and Explosions in the Sky and kind of these more like bands that have been around for a long time that have kind of set the template of letting dynamics dictate.
Tortoise.
Yes, that's another great example. But I feel like you guys are able to kind of take advantage of like the stage being set, and that it's almost more in vogue now. Not even in vogue, but it's almost more acceptable now to make instrumental music.
Yeah, I would agree with that notion. I mean, even if you look at like